Commencing Autopsy 3. Time, 2104. 27-year-old female, infected with unknown pathogen. Blood analysis indicates virus. Provisional name is PAX-12. Deceased had traveled in China before returning home 2 weeks ago. That must have been pre-quarantine. Unknown if had contact with livestock, but I can definitely see evidence of insect bites. Deceased had reported coughing and sneezing with a high fever. I'm seeing a nasty rash, some abscesses around the abdominal cavity. Clear signs of immune suppression. Cause of death appears to be catastrophic organ failure. Findings match reports coming out of China. This is highly concerning. The deceased may still be infectious. I'm halting the autopsy in order to notify the authorities. Request a full lockdown of this facility. Effective immediately.
Hey, this is Pratticious here, and welcome to another wonderful adventure. Today we're actually playing Plague Inc. So with that, because I thought since we're in the middle of pandemic, why not? So we'll go to single player, main game. And with this game, there's actually a lot you can do. There's everything from bacteria, viruses, fungus, noxious or neurox worms, parasites, prions, friggin' zombie virus, all the way to you're just vampires. So this has a lot of stuff you can do. There's also scenarios you can do in all this, which quite a few of them are locked. We may do some of those here after bits, and then you can do custom scenarios, speed runs, and then obviously tutorial, which shows you, okay, this is how to play the game. But I mean, for those that don't know how to play, it's a pretty simple game. And before I go any farther, I have played this, as you can see, a little bit. Do that. Helps us later on once we start really infecting everybody. And nothing there. So the reason why I chose what I chose was this was ATP boost is basically you get a little boost of DNA in the beginning, which you use DNA to mutate, which is extremely important throughout the game. Darwinism increase the chance of mutation, which is good because then you don't have to spend mutation points or DNA points to mutate. So it's just a free mutation. Now it's random, but you don't know what it's going to be. And I'd rather spread it by land because it's a lot more, you can spread a lot more through land than you can by air. I mean, by air is pretty important, but anyways, and then rural environment helps me more than it helps me more than the other ones because there's more rural areas than others. And we are actually going to call this COVID-19. And let's see if we can kill the world. New bacteria. To win, you must evolve and spread across the world, wiping out all humans. The ultimate plague. Please select. Okay. So basically, with that, you just decide where to start. And since we start in Greenland, we're not we're just used to cold. It doesn't like the cold, but we're used to it. So here, there's different ways to transmit the virus. These are symptoms that you can do, and then there's also the abilities. Now for bacteria, we're actually going to start with resilience. Then the little orange thing is, you can see DNA bubbles that they're just random stuff that pops up, and it helps you. She'll make it so we are more resilient to all climates. Yes. So as you can see, we've infected about 13 people. COVID is spreading from person to person. You will grow exponentially. You control your plague indirectly by evolving it, which is true. You cannot directly, at least for most of these, you cannot directly control them. You basically just give them mutations and then you see what happens. We're up to 65 people, 72 people. It's growing. There we go. Now we're very resilient to all climates. So then we don't have to buy cold resistance or heat resistance, because with this, you're resilient to all climates, which helps you be able to transmit or infect more people more readily. Now, what I've noticed here is that yes. See, this is the random mutation that I was talking to you about. So it's what did it say? Okay. The pauses whenever something like that comes up. Now I'm gonna de-evolve it, and when I de-evolve it, I actually, at least for this one, get 2 DNA points, except for it increases the DNA cost by 1 for each one of these every time I do that. Which is not a big deal right now, because the reason why I did that is because you want to keep, at least for the strategy that I have for this, is that as long as you have 0 symptoms, they will never discover your bacteria. They will never. You can literally go through the entire game and infect everyone. As long as you have 0 symptoms, they will not notice you're there. Because if you have a cough or something and you go to a checkup, then they're going to notice, hey, you have a checkup. And then they're going to test and see, okay, what the heck is it? So the big thing for here is to try and be like incognito mode for this. So as long as you have, as I said before, 0 symptoms, you're good to go. And you can be as stealthy. You are literally a silent assassin at that point. Now the way to become more infectious without actually doing it is we are now going airborne and waterborne. So we now are reproduce in the water, so we can be transmitted through the water. Voters in the UK vote to leave the EU. Remainders are concerned that that could severely damage UK, but Leavers claim it will be fine. Unclear that Brexit will actually happen. And why are you... Oh. Hold on. What? There. Okay. Now that's fixed. So, whether or not Brexit will actually happen or not, we will find out. See, again, mutations. And then all I gotta do is de-evolve. Cost of everything apparently stayed the same. Normally it goes up by 1. I don't know why it didn't, but... So we've now infected, let's see, Only Russia and Greenland so far. So down here on the left, you can see who's what we've infected, and then the little heart blue, light blue icon shows, okay, what all countries are healthy and we have not infected. Obviously, the thing in the center, how many, the red infected, blue healthy. I don't really worry about any of the other stuff because it's not really helpful for what we do. We've now infected 2 more countries. Good. You're the silent killer. And let's see, let's be transported by birds, which helps us with land transmission. Yes. Infect more people. More and more. Infect mice now. Helps us with the urban regions. Norway is a wealthy country with high, drug resistance. Oh my. So basically there's little notifications that the game says to help you out. Boy, we are spreading now. Woo! That's the way to do it. Alright, drug resistance number 1. Oh, no, we don't want coughing. No. I mean, we do later, but not right now. We want 0 symptoms for as long as we can. Because that's another thing, holy smokes, in this game, that we're now more infectious than TB. Oh no, okay, hold on. If there's ever too many that pop up at once, have a look, and there's a notification, do not exit out of the notification until you tap everything. Or press that little pause button, and then you can pop them all. Because if you wait too long, they'll get smaller and smaller and then disappear. Boy, we are just multiplying across Europe here pretty good. And these little red lines are where a plane has gone to a different destination. These little red dotted line or lines urban areas are less vulnerable. That's fine. It's do sheep and livestock, so it helps us in transmission of rural areas. We've infected more people than the common cold. Oh, calm down with your mutations. Now, in some of these, you have to go with a different strategy than this one, because de-evolving actually costs you instead of giving you DNA. So you got to keep it in mind, all that stuff. And I'll go through on at least what my strategies are for each one of these that has worked. How are we doing here? Transmission, let's go to mosquitoes or mosquitoes. Helps us in the hot climates. Don't have to worry about genetic hardening yet. Okay, we've got about a little over a third, and we've got quite a bit of the world, but we still need. So we got a little bit in South America to go. What is that? New Guinea. We need to infect Madagascar and the rest of Africa. There we go. There we go. How about no? Devolve. As you can see, they haven't even noticed that we've infected most of the world already. And then you can also click on specific countries and see how many infected, how many are dead, and then see like a little percentage visible percentage there, which depending on the game mode and what you are and everything will be very helpful. And as you can see, we've got a ton of points. We've already maxed out. I think the max is technically 100, but it'll allow you to collect more than 100. Okay, how are we doing on Morocco? Where the hell? The last place that is not infected. Has 0 infected. Everywhere. There we go. So now every continent in the world is infected by us, which is good. And now I'll hold off on that. Probably the next time it mutates, I'll allow it to stay mutated. But I want to try and get it so that every last person on the face of the earth has been infected. And if you're not clicked on any of the continents, you can see the total amount infected in the world, and then that little bit of blue is what's left on healthy. The healthy population is going down fast, and nobody's dead, which is good. Everybody's healthy and everything, all the ports and the airports and all that. Mystery still surrounding the decision on the postponement of the Rio Olympics. Organizers promise it will happen soon, but no reason has been given for the change. As you can see, all the red are infected. So that's an infected plane, that's an infected boat. And I'm gonna just leave it for the coughing. COVID-19 infected most of the world. In order to kill people, you must evolve lethal advanced symptoms using DNA points, which is true. I'll get to that here in a minute. We're trying to wait for those last few people that are in Africa to infect the last few people. Rumors are spreading of a mysterious illness that is sweeping through Greenland. However, doctors have found no evidence of ill health. Okay, normally it would notice it, but that's kind of interesting that... Okay, so they went to the doctor and they didn't find anything. That's kind of interesting. Normally that never happens. That's a very rare outcome. Experts have noticed a high level of bird migration. They worried that birds could rapidly spread disease between countries if they become infected. So stuff like this, if you infect birds and stuff like this happens, then you'll infect more people. The last person, that is the key thing to wait until, and then you can start basically doomsday. The last person in the world recently has been infected with COVID-19. Well, normally you would, if they find you out, you go this direction, and making it harder for the lab to analyze and recombine and all that stuff. You don't see that yet, but we're actually going to. So we've got sneezing now. Obviously, it shows what it is, and what it does. And if you see at the bottom, you can see the effectiveness in the pink here, in that little bit of light pink, shows you how much more effectiveness, how lethal you are, how likely you are to kill the patient, and severity, how severe your pathogen is. So, immune suppression and total organ failure. You can see that effectiveness, death and severity goes up, and lethality goes way up. At this point, since we have now infected basically everyone in the world, well, not basically, we have infected everyone in the world, then that went through a lot. After all that stuff, now they notice. In a normal checkup, the doctor in Bulgaria. I'm terrible with the continent names. Found a new disease which has been named COVID-19. It appears mostly harmless, but it must be investigated further. Other countries are reporting this disease. Now that will change if it's discovered and it's only been in the continent. Then it'll say it's only been discovered in whatever continent it is, or it'll say no other countries are reporting this disease. First death of COVID-19 has been confirmed in Central Asia. Bad luck or the beginning of something terrible? Actually, it's the beginning of something terrible. New statistics. COVID-19 has killed over 75 million people worldwide, worse than the Black Death. And you can see this number infected and dying. New statistics show that it's killed over 120 million people, worse than Spanish flu. There's two ways of fighting the... See, this is where the game tries to help you. You can either evolve aggressive symptoms, meaning you either need to make it so it's killing a lot of people, or it's just very scary, but it also makes it more noticeable. Or you can do, as I told you earlier, the resistance and the recombination of your DNA, which is less visible. It's killed over 300 million people, worse than smallpox. And all that black is death. South Africa has become the first country to limit the spread of COVID-19 by limiting access in and out to the country. So you can see that there it is, mutating more. They've shut down airports, they've shut down docks. UK is the first to instruct doctors to begin research on the cure for COVID-19 without greater funding. Expect it will take a long time. There it is. Normal life in Baltic state is beginning to break down due to COVID-19. Cure research is starting to slow. Well, East Africa is first to fall into anarchy due to COVID-19. No cure research can take place. We've already killed most of the world population. That is not going to go far. Otherwise, I would do... Well, actually, let's make it even more lethal. There we go. Hermetic shock. Necrosis. Perfect. And... can we make it more lethal? A little bit more lethal. Yeah, good luck making a cure that fast. Less than a million. 15. I'm not even gonna try and keep up with that. Even more lethal. COVID-19 has destroyed the world. Despite the world's best efforts, the last few humans lie dying in holes. No chance to survive. Or survival. There we go. COVID-19 has successfully eliminated all life on Earth. Victory. So yeah, that obviously that's only on normal difficulty. And it only took 1,284 days. And this right here just has a little rerun. So just gives you all that information. You can share it if you want. I never share it, but... And then every time you win on normal difficulty or higher, you get a new gene unlocked. The following new gene discovered: gene mimicry. Okay, for single player. And that was Plague Inc. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more of this kind of content in the future. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.